Good morning. It is On Your Now Tuesday. Welcome to the On Your Now show where it's not about me, it's all about you. And this is What's Going On Tuesday. And we have a phenomenal guest today. I'm so excited about everybody coming on in so that you guys can see who our guest is. Yes, we have the amazing, awesome Major League Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith. And I tell you guys, you got to find out what's going on. So let me know what's in your cup. Is your cup full or what? Because it's time for What's Going On Tuesday. Come on in, everybody. I see you all. I see you. Good morning. Good morning, Karen. I see you. I'm glad that you're here. Welcome. Let's see, Robert. I see you. I see you, everybody. Come on in, Melissa. Woo, yes, we're going to have a great morning. Everybody's coming in. Good morning, Amber. This is what the On Your Now show is all about. It's all about us coming together and filling up our cups. And boy, do we have a show for you. And I hope that your cup is overflowing because today is going to be an amazing day. I'm playing What's Going On by Marvin Gaye because we got stuff to talk about, right? Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Brenda. You all see my cup? It's time for the On Your Now show. And yes, we do have, he is in the house. The Ozzie, the Oz is in the house. Good morning, Shameen. I'm seeing you all. Everybody, I hope you guys are getting your stretches on. Woo! Circles. Woo! Take those shoulders back. Woo! Let's see what's going on. Stretch. Woo! Shake it out. I hope you guys are sharing because today is a legendary day. Every day this week, it has been our Father's Week because we're talking to men that walk in their purpose as well as being fathers. And we got so much to talk about. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, all day long, I'm going to keep sharing. And so I hope you guys share as well. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning. I see everybody's coming in. I want to make sure that you all can see and hear and feel what is about to happen because we got things to talk about because it is What's Going On Tuesday. Okay, so do we want to get this started? Because you know what? We all have things to do, but we got someone very special, and I want to welcome him to our space. Welcome to the Own Your Now show, Mr. Ozzie Smith. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing great today because after all, we are not always able to have a legendary person right in our view on the Cup of Therapy On Your Now show. So I tell you, I know you got a lot going on and you probably get interviews all the time. So I'm going to try to make this a little different. Okay. What's in your cup? Are you owning your now? Tell us what's in your cup. What do you drink in the morning?
I love chai tea. Yes.
Chai. All right now.
Mm-hmm.
See, so I'm thinking about all the things that you have done over your life. And I want to first start off by saying, I remember, because this is Father's Week, I remember the first time.
Don't you date, don't date yourself or date me. Now watch out. Be careful.
Okay. You're looking good. You're looking good.
Thank you.
All numbers aside, but I have to go back to, but probably like in 1980s, like 82, I was in high school. My father took me to a baseball game, and I remember seeing you. It was really an awesome experience to be able to, number one, experience a baseball game with my father and the love of eating the food and drinking and everything that he enjoyed as well as myself, but also to see legends in the midst doing what you love. And how was that for you? Because for me, it was an awesome experience.
It was great, Tracy, because, and that's one of the great things about playing here in St. Louis is that it's such a tradition here, baseball. I have so many stories now as I go through the rest of my life of people telling me the memories that were created at that ballpark with their dad, with their mom, and stuff. And it's a real blessing to have had the opportunity to share those special moments with people. And to be honest with you, I continue to share them. I do some cameo stuff now, and you'd be amazed at how I'm closing in on my 300th cameo, and I just
Oh,
started
wow.
that 3 weeks ago. So people remember that,
Yes.
and I'm in a business where we were able to create memories that last a lifetime, and that's a real blessing.
And when I tell you, then as an adult, one of my first dates was with my husband. He's good friends with Benora Gilkey. I remember us meeting you a long time ago, and our last name is McGee, no relation to Willie, but he was like, Tracie, let me explain something. When you meet Ozzie, he is the most genuine, humble man you will ever meet. And he was so right, and
Well,
everybody that we talked to, they always have all of these kind words. I was looking at that bus of you, and it talked about you having this personality that is so humble and so kind. And so at a time like this, that's so profound. And so I want to thank you for that.
well, Tracie, here again, I think it all has to do, and for most of us, that um, our parents have a lot to do with how that is formed early on in our lives. And my mom always talked about the importance of being humble, never forgetting where you came from, and the probably the most important thing is the ability to give back. And we stayed here in this community because it's been very giving to us as a family, and I want to be proud of the area in which I live. And so I give back where I can. I'm not I can't touch everybody, but I touch as many people as I can.
And we're always seeing how you give back to our community with with our children as well as with adults. But we have a lot going on, and today is what's
Mm-hmm.
going on Tuesday. And so I have a couple of questions. I want to try to keep it light, but as well as we got to tackle some things here. So what I want to know is, we do this thing called What I Want to Know a lot of times with our girls, but I want to ask you right now. You're not playing, of course, but you know that this is the sport that America loves. And in the wake of the pandemic and our country's civil unrest, do you think this is a time for baseball or not? I know this is a big decision right now. What are you thinking? Because I know you've been through this
Uh-huh.
before. You've been through the Watts in California and different
Yeah.
things. But what do you think about now?
Well, this time, Tracie, I think it's a little bit different. As I look at what's happening and you watching all the protests that are going on around the country, it's not just black people protesting. I think for the first time, our white brothers and sisters realize that what we were talking about, or what we weren't able to see, which we are able to see now because of cell phones and all of the tapings, that what we were talking about is real. And people are losing their lives, especially black men. And so this movement here, I think, is one that will hopefully make the changes that we need, especially as far as the police is concerned. Um, there's too many of us that are dying. And I guess you would have a case if it was happening both ways, So I ask myself, is the training different?
Right.
If in fact, and I think that the only thing that people are asking for is just equal justice.
Yes.
Equal justice. If we go out there and we commit some crime, we're arrested right away. Well, if they do that, then they should they should feel the same wrath. And I think
Yes.
that that's all that people are asking for is equal justice.
Equal justice, and I agree. You traveled all over the world, and so you're worldwide known. Everybody knows you. But even as a black man, listening to my husband, my father, my grandfather, my son, even, you all have a common thread of you've experienced this before, and I know that people know you. And I wonder, have you ever experienced this through a traffic stop or any of those type of experiences? Because I don't think it's a classism thing. It's something that happens oftentimes that
It
people know.
happened. Yes, until they realize who you are. And, so we've all had those occasions where we were stopped. I told a story here not too long ago about first getting here to St. Louis. Willie and I were trying to get our bearings on the surroundings, and we got pulled over for no reason. And I was in the passenger seat, actually, and I leaned over and I asked the officer, I said, well, what did we do wrong? And he said, nothing yet. So it happens. We don't tell that story. We don't tell that story a whole lot. Following up on that, we did get Willie did get an apology. He actually came to the house, but that happened on them finding out that we were St. Louis Cardinal baseball players and
Wow.
and stuff. So it happens to all of us, and not so much that it happened, but what happens afterwards. And so the guy apologized for it, and we were able to move on. So I think being a St. Louis Cardinal, Tracie, I think supersedes a lot of things here in this town. And there have been instances where I've gotten pulled over and not gotten a ticket because I was a St. Louis Cardinal. So it kind of cuts both ways. But I think that what we've seen here in the last 10, 15 years is the fact that there's so many of us starting to die now, and the conversations that we have to have with our kids are totally different than the conversations that my white friends have to have with their kids.
And that's something I was going to ask you about, being that you are a father and a grandfather as well. You have to have those conversations. You have a son, and when did you start having those conversations as a father as well as a role model? Because I know that you talk to kids all the time, and you've been an excellent role model. But when did you feel like you had to start having the talk with your son?
Well, right around 12, 13 years old, when they can comprehend what it is that you're talking about. And it's tough when you sit down and you watch a video. And I think this was Philando Castile, what happened to him. And I said to my son, this is why it's important, when you have a confrontation with a cop, this is what you need to do, and so forth and so on. And he says to me, well, yeah, Dad, I understand that, but he did everything that he was supposed to do, and look what happened to him. Now, what am I supposed to say as a father?
Right.
It makes it very, 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 very tough, because the kids, they understand that the generation today they're very sharp. They're up on things, and they're probably as active or more active than we were on these topics and things. So, it's tough, and we all have to figure out how we're going to get it across to our kids, and just pray every day that they go out there, that they don't have that confrontation that doesn't allow them to come back home.
You're right. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that you said, that we can say all the right things and things can still happen. But I think what's most important is that we do have those conversations, and that they are prepared, and they are watching a lot. They are triggered by a lot of trauma. But the other thing about it is, on the light side of things.
Tracie, let me say this here real quick. I think that the one thing that that has come from this is how important it is to tell your loved ones that you love them.
Yes.
Every day, because going out there every day, you don't know if they're going to come back. So that's one of the positive things and for us as brothers, sometimes, we don't say it enough. But I think that all the people that I'm involved with now, we say, I love you more than we did in the past. So
that's crucial. And I've seen that even in sports, how everybody embraces each other. My father, my husband and my son both are athletes. And to see what team looks like, there's so many tools you learn from being a team player. So as a retired athlete, are you playing sports now, or are you, what do you get out and do? Because a little birdie told me that you're skating also. I didn't know you could skate also.
I'm not a world champion skater, but I grew up in Southern California, and we skated too. And I know that St. Louis is a skate town. So one of my good friends here, took me over to East St. Louis to the skating rink over there a few years ago, and I hadn't done it in years. And he was surprised that I know my way around. I'm not a speedster like I used to be, but I had to show my niece. I have wooden floors here in the kitchen. I had to show her the other night that, hey, old man can still do it. So
And you
I love skating.
well.
I've always enjoyed. Skating, and I play a lot of golf now. When I was growing up in Southern California, I was never introduced to the game of golf. So when I retired as an athlete, you're always looking to. There's a competitive void in your life, so you're looking to that next thing, and that next thing for me was golf. Once I picked up a golf club and started hitting, we used to hitting something, so stick and ball. And I picked that up, and I've been the president now 10 years of a program called Reach, and it has allowed me to introduce the game of golf to young kids in the inner city. And it's not just the game of golf, but it's the business of golf as well. And I think the earlier we can expose kids to things like that, hopefully the sooner they find the thing that they can be passionate about. And so, through Reach, I've been able to reach some kids and, help them get scholarships and so forth and so on, and hopefully build better citizens.
I like that. You mentioned a key word, exposure. And that's something that our inner city kids need access to, our rural kids and families need access to. So the fact that our kids can grow up learning how to play golf and other sports that they may not have exposure to it's amazing. It really is. And the fact that you continue to reach out to our community is another asset. Another fun question. The Oz, the Wizard. So we're talking about the Wizard here. Let's go to movies. Is your favorite show The Oz, The Wizard, The Wiz, or is it The Wizard of Oz?
Well, it is the Wizard of Oz. I think everybody has at some point in time experienced it. All but my fiance. She's the only one that hasn't watched the Wizard of Oz. I'm busting her out here. So we're planning on being able to sit down and watch that as a family and stuff. So that's one of my favorite movies. But my favorite baseball movie is Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner.
I love that movie,
and the reason is that you grow up with playing catch with your dad, and it's a father-son kind of movie there, and that's why so many guys fall in love with the Field of Dreams.
Well, it's interesting that you say that about dreams and making dreams come true and being able to walk in your own shoes. But it's also great to know that father-son relationship is there. And I thought it would be really cool to bring in a special guest, because I wanted to ask someone who may know you a little better than all of us. And
good morning.
I know that people always ask you walking in your dad's shoes, but I looked up on our thread and somebody was like, "Where is he? Is he singing? What are you doing?" Like, how? This is the thing. Everybody needs to understand. Everybody sees Ozzie Smith as a legendary, but you see him as dad. Tell us about what that feels like.
Well, for me,
Tracie. First of all, he don't sing. He can't sing. This is Dustin, my second. Nico's out in California. Yeah, this my baby.
This is the baby. That's okay. Yeah. So you know what? Because everybody looks alike, and I know you don't say that all the time.
But I'm the better looking. I'm the better looking one. Okay.
Let him tell it. So, well, and first off, I can sing. I can't sing well, but I can sing. For growing up, he was always just our dad. Like, it's really great and humbling to hear everybody come up to you and just be like, "Oh man, your dad's so nice and he's such a good guy." And it just really pushed us to be better as kids, and he kind of just set that mold and standard, to follow in his footsteps. you know, I don't know if I say it enough, but he was the reason why I got into playing sports and all that. And I just always wanted to show him and make him proud, and always do my best to live up. It can be tough, when you have somebody who, people fail to realize, like, he wasn't just good; he was one of the best. Like, it's already a tough sport as is, but when you're in an elite athlete, as which he is, it's a whole different ball game, so to speak. But growing up, that was always, he never really brought that stuff home. He was just our dad, and we always loved spending time, and even more so now, man. I think our relationship has really grown and blossomed, and I love every moment and every time we get to spend together.
Man, that's an awesome experience. Just to say, he was just our dad, and that you were able to take that hat off, that baseball cap off at the door, and be able to be who you were for your children. So that's a blessing. So Dustin, so you said you're in California, or you?
No, so I'm actually here. My older brother Nico, he's in California. So
okay, so does he? Are you a dad as well?
Yes, I am. Yes,
so
I am.
He's a grandfather. How is he as a grandfather? Because who's running it? Who's running the show now?
Oh, so I have a little baby girl. Her name's Veda. She's 4. And she calls him Pawpaw and basically runs the show. I tell my wife there all the time. I was like, this man sits up here and gets on all fours, and she'll ride his back and just, hey, Pawpaw, come in. And I was like, I don't know if he was doing that with this one. So, but yeah, no, they have I love seeing them play together, and he's awesome to her, and they have a really good time. She was actually just over there the other day, and love spending time with her Pawpaw.
That's what's up. So he's no longer, he is now Pawpaw officially.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's Pawpaw, and he he's pretty good in the kitchen. I'll give it to him. So she loves his strawberry shortcake. So he always makes sure. Wow. He always makes sure to have strawberries and everything, to make her desserts and everything like that. And, doing the grandfather thing and spoiling her to death. So she's all smiles every time she goes over there, and he gives her all the sugar and candy, even though we tell her. She always comes back and goes, Pawpaw gave me soda, or Pawpaw gave me candy. Of course he did.
That's the beauty of it all, being able to have your parents really close to you and being able to experience what it means to be a grandfather.
Yeah.
So Pawpaw Oz, Pawpaw. What else is coming up? What's new? What do we have to look forward to? Because now that you're staying in and we're all kind of stuck in, that's why we're doing this whole On Your Now Cup of Therapy thing, because we need to connect. Yeah. So while you're in the kitchen, what's coming up? Well, what you cooking up?
Well, I've always messed around in the kitchen, and like Dustin there. Dustin had to go to the cold culinary air to be able to sprinkle salt. He had to go to school. I just learned from watching my mom in the kitchen. So I know my way around the kitchen, and I've become, don't tell anybody this, but I've become a bootlegger too since this pandemic. I had a friend of mine who was a big baseball fan in Philadelphia. Italian guy. I used to come to the games all the time in Philadelphia, and he gave me a recipe for limoncello. And I had never used the recipe, and God rest his soul, he's passed away. And so when this pandemic hit, it hit me that we had not used that recipe. So I started making limoncello. So that's been one of the things that I've learned to do as this pandemic has taken over, and
wow,
and stuff. So yeah, so it's that's been fun. And then of course cooking. My grandbaby loves my fried chicken. And last night actually we had gotten some rotisserie chicken, and she said, "I don't want that. I want your fried chicken."
Man, that's a good thing. Everybody coming to the table and being able to enjoy your fried chicken. Dustin, have you had the limoncello? Can you put a stamp on it yet, Are we going to market this? Because we all want to, there should be all kind of cellos, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Oh,
right.
yeah. No, I'll give it to him. It's legit.
It's
He's
legit.
got something there.
All right.
He might be onto something.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to it. This has really been an awesome experience. This whole week we've been tapping into fathers. It's been a legendary week, and so I really thank you guys for saying yes. But I want to know, one of the things that we ask is everybody is starting to put their words down. We have so many great comments talking about the importance of father figures. You see Dustin's walking, and his dad's like, he's a great father. We already know this. You're a girl dad.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
he's a
yeah.
good. Hey, and Tracie, he's a good one. He really is. I love watching the time that they spend together, and he spends a lot of quality time with her. And when you have a conversation with her, you realize that both of them as parents spend a lot of time with her.
Thank you.
I love it. So we always ask everybody for an On Your Now affirmation word. One word that you feel like defines the week, defines the day, defines you. What is that On Your Now word? Is everyone else is putting up their word for today? Tell
Go
us.
ahead.
You can start off, Dustin.
Oh, word of the day. Keep it simple. I actually have two, but I'll say fortunate and then blessed. I feel like they go hand in hand. And why I have this moment, I just want to say an early wish my dad a very early happy Father's Day. Again, I just want you to know how much I love you and you mean the world to me. And I'm very thankful for our relationship. And I want us just to continue to grow and get closer. And just know that I love spending the time with you, getting out on the golf course with you, even though you beat up on me. I love it. And I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I'm so thankful to have you as my dad. And I
Thank you.
appreciate all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, give me a second here. My word.
Dustin, just have all of us crying on a Tuesday.
My word. My word is in lieu of the times now is considerate. To be considerate of other people. I think about this going out and social distancing and all of that, and it's not so. It really is not about me as much as it is about other people. And when we talk about wearing a mask, it's being considerate of other people and probably more so thinking about your family when you go out and you start social distancing and you start getting together with groups of people. It's think about your family before you go out there and stuff. You don't want to bring anything back home. So
Right.
being considerate, I think, would be my word.
Oh my goodness. Dustin, you have your dad crying on our On Your Now show.
Good.
I thank you both for being a part of today. This is historical. So I'm honored. I am truly honored. It's a lot of times you see different people that you look up to and they don't show up to be who they truly are. And you really do show up. You are truly a living legend as well as an awesome father and grandfather. And we thank you for this. And so as we wrap up, I'm looking at all of the words here and I'm going to start off. I love poetry. And this is what our I Define Me, On Your Now flow is all about. I want to say right now, we need to make sure that we are more considerate of each other and understand that we are blessed. And it is a fortune. It is fortunate for us to see what grace looks like and for us to be a part of the legacy of someone so amazing. Continue to be uplifting to one another. Because when you're uplifting to one another, you can see what it means to feel legendary in a time like this. So keep your cups full and understand that you are powerful. You are powerful beyond measure. Yes, this was an awesome opportunity for us to step into seeing who we are. Yes, we are cool all together when we are on the On Your Now show. Continue to wish everyone a happy Father's Day. And I hope that you guys continue to own your now as we see the value of who we are on the On Your Now show. So thank you. I want you all to understand that we're going to keep sipping. Sipping means shelter in place. And if you have to go out, please be safe. Thank you all. Keep your cups full. And I hope that you have enjoyed, truly enjoyed the Own Your Now show today. We have 3 more days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a phenomenal guest tomorrow. We have the awesome, phenomenal Hall of Famer Aeneas Williams coming into the house. And then on Thursday, we have Sylvester Chisholm and we have Officer Lonnie Benson. On Friday, we have Michael Whitley and my son, Nate Dingle McGee, because we got to look to the future. But until then, keep your cups overflowing. And remember, it's not about me. It's all about you on the Own Your Now show. Thank you both. And be safe.
All
Enjoy
right. You
your
too,
day.
Tracie. All right.
Same to you.
All right.
Have a
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.